So when it comes down to any products that you may be using for backpacking, I do realize that a lot of people are counting ounces. So I do like to hold companies accountable for their reported weights, and we're going to do that here. Now I have my scale set up, and then to get things started, I do like to throw a little test weight on to make sure it's reading properly. So right now I have it set for grams, and I have a 20 gram test weight, and putting that on the scale, it does read 20. Looking at a couple spots here, so yeah, 20 grams. So this does seem to be in calibration, and let's get the sleeping bag on the scale and see what it weighs up as. So Animato reports that these sleeping bags weigh 2.4 pounds, and 0.4 pounds is 6.4 ounces, so we're looking for 2 pounds, 6.4 ounces. Now I'm not sure if that's the sleeping bag alone or with the stuff sack, so I do have it in the stuff sack, but again, we'll get that on the scale. It's going to roll around on me a bit. Let me get it centered. Get all the material up here. 2 pounds, 12.3 ounces. So 2 pounds, 12.3 ounces. So I'm wondering if that is the reported amount, basically being the sleeping bag alone and not the stuff sack. So let me get the sleeping bag out of the stuff sack, and then we'll weigh it up again. Now, in order for me to get the sleeping bag all on the scale, I had to use this bin. So I have tared the scale. At this point, getting the sleeping bag into the bin. Here we have 2 pounds, 9.7 ounces. So just double checking my math. I told you I was looking for 2.4 pounds, which 0.4 pounds is 6.4 ounces. So here I have 2 pounds, 9.8 ounces. And so let's see, 9.8 ounces out of 16 is roughly 0.61 pounds. So I'm seeing here closer to 2.61 pounds, so a little bit off on the reported weights. Now, Animato reports that this sleeping bag can be compressed down to 15.8 inches by 7 inches. That seems to me to be a little bit big, so I'm surprised at that. And what I decided I would do is pack this down with one of my compression sacks. So I'm going to use an Outdoor Research compression sack that I know I can get really nice and tight. So let me get this in the compression sack, and we'll take a look at how it measures. Alright, so now I have this in an Outdoor Research compression sack. This, to me, looks to be smaller than the reported 15.8 by 7 inches. So, at this point, let's take some measurements and see where we land. So, when I look at the approximate girth here, yeah, I mean, I would say it's right around 7 inches. So, that seems to be about right. But in terms of the length, this is about 14 inches. So, yeah, I mean, they're not that far off. So, here we have about 7 inches by 14 inches. So, the reported compressibility is close. I don't know if you could actually get it that tight with this particular compression sack. Probably come close. I just know that I can definitely do it with one of these. So, overall, pretty packable, reasonable size, and at a little over 2.5 pounds, not too bad. And so another design feature that they state is that the outside of this sleeping bag is waterproof. Now I think we all know that this is not going to be waterproof, but it should in some regard be water resistant. So if they're going to at least make the claim of waterproof, I want to see if this has a decent amount of water resistance. So we're going to play around for a minute here using my shower, seeing what happens. I'm going to start by using the shower to kind of wet the fabric, and then after we do the fabric, I'm going to start to target the zipper and see how the zipper holds up to moisture and see if it allows the water to get through. I mean, I don't ever expect that I would be using this in soaking wet condition, but where they make the claim of waterproof, I'm just kind of curious what we get for a result. Now initially right off the bat. This does seem to have some pretty good beads building up here, so that's a nice sign. And generally, it does not look as though any of these beads are really penetrating and getting into the fabric. So pretty interesting. Let's go a little heavier here. Again, giving that a pretty good prolonged dousing. I'm actually really impressed at this. So far, it looks to be doing a great job beating up all that water, and it's just kind of dripping down off of here. So, let's see if I shake that off. I really don't see any moisture that has penetrated into the fabric just yet. I mean, maybe a couple of spots, but generally that's pretty good. So just to verify that we're good here before I move on, flipping this open, and you can see the fabric on the inside certainly has no problems whatsoever. So so far so good. That's an impressive test. Alright, so next I'm going to target the zipper. So I'll zip this back up, and the first thing I know will happen is, if I'm not careful, down at the bottom where this gusset is, it's a big open hole into the sleeping bag. So I'm not going to target that area. I'm actually going to specifically avoid it because that's not really a fair test. But I am going to go straight at these zippers here. So let me get the water going. I'm going to basically try to soak these zippers, and let's see what makes it to the inside of the sleeping bag. So that was pretty solid dosing there. So now if I unzip this and go right to where, oh man, so that definitely got to it. So the zippers unfortunately become a liability in terms of the overall effectiveness of the waterproof design. Now again, going back to the fabric did a marvelous job. So my suggestion is, where this is a product in the $25 range, I mean, the price point is very, very good for the quality of this overall. But I think I would spend a little more money on this zipper, just enough, and even if it became a $30 item or even a $35 item, really to tighten up on the zipper, get it so that the zipper is a little more water resistant. There are zippers that do a good job of keeping water out, and I would certainly consider that for this, where the fabric did such a nice job and is such a wonderful feature for the sleeping bag. I would focus on the zipper and try to get it to the same standard so that you really have a pretty good overall waterproof bag. So alright guys, there you have it. A real quick look at a couple of nice sleeping bags from the company Animato. I'd just like to say thank you again to the people at Animato for providing these products. This was a very interesting review for me. I very much do enjoy these products. I think they look to be overall excellent quality. So let's step back to what my initial search was. Did we find ourselves a product that was budget friendly? I'd say absolutely. And did we find something that provided good value, a high value item? I would say hell yeah. I mean, I have to say I am pretty overall impressed at this. There are some fundamental design flaws that I think should be worked through. I think it's worth taking the time. I think it's worth putting in the effort to update these products for a future release, working through some of these little design issues and getting it worked out, because overall this product has a lot of features for the money. Something in that sort of $25 or $30 range that can get either somebody started in this hobby and getting out into the mountains or out into the woods and enjoying the outdoors. That's incredible. I think for the general user, this would be great. And I think even for an advanced user, this would be great. I mean, there are certainly a lot of features in here. It works well for me. And overall, I have to admit, I am very impressed. So, alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.